I think for the time being, there's a lot of uncertainty now on the back, obviously, of the labour market report on Friday, because in a way what we're seeing now is that finally the market is waking up to potentially higher inflation, and I think this is something we have to watch quite carefully, because that obviously has the potential to create greater uncertainty down the road, because it would imply that central banks have potentially to react faster than what we have anticipated until now.
I almost want to look at it the other way. Good morning to you. Is it more certainty because we've finally got the piece of the jigsaw that all the economists who told us they understand the world, and the Phillips curve and the eventual reaction of wages and inflation from UIG to NFID to the labour market report on Friday, they've given us more confidence that we know what's happening, hence that's fine for the world of economics, but what you're saying, the world of markets just can't handle it anymore.
Exactly.
Well, dare I say it, I remember the old crisis and talking to you, in your role as an income player previously as well. Yeah. So we have been here many times, haven't we?
Not to the extent that we are obviously facing the potential for global synchronized tightening. We've seen it in individual markets. I think the unusual setup we're facing right now is that we are still trying to unwind the greatest monetary experiment of all times. And the point is obviously that, yes, we have more certainty economically, but what we're seeing now is that the market has to adjust, that the repricing and
But the market needs to get over itself. This is a good thing. And I know what Karen's been saying about earnings, but most earnings have beaten, again, I think 70-odd% have beaten expectations this time around in the United States so far as well. The market is getting more certainty economically. The GDP figures, PMI figures, whatever you want to, and there doesn't seem to be a big political crisis going on in the world. In fact, Paul Donovan's saying the German one is the most tedious he's ever seen. So actually things are going well. So this is good.
Yes. For the time being, I wouldn't read too much into it, because let's face it, the correction that we are seeing so far is not even in line with the median correction we have seen since the 1980s, which is greater 10%. I think what the big question mark will be, is this a fundamental change in trend, i.e. if inflation really were to exceed the target of central banks, what does this mean then for the economic cycle? Because obviously at the end of the day, if then the Fed has to adjust the rate hiking cycle, then we would finally see the credit cycle kicking in, which then obviously would finally bring the economic cycle to an end. So from an economics textbook, beautiful. Whether the markets then can adjust the same way in a similar beautiful fashion, I'm not quite sure.